Hey guys. So Jeep issue, check engine light. Yeah, it's my evap for my fuel cap thing. It's a thing. Basically just reset it. So not a big issue. It is gonna want money soon, I'm sure, but today is not the day. Anyway. Lots of interesting exhausts out here. Anyway. So, ooh, I want hinge steps for the doors. Super useful. Anyway. So, another thing, that the abuser will do to make it difficult for you to leave is, like I said before, they make you the problem. And they do that by saying, well, you're the only one with a problem. I don't have a problem with this. Why do you have a problem with this? What's wrong with you that you have a problem with this? This is how things are supposed to be. And, this isn't an issue for other people. And you're making a mountain out of a molehill. Have you heard that one before? When you try to actually talk about the things that they are doing that are, that's hurting you, not only do you get told that you're too sensitive when they are effectively bullying you, okay, but then you get told you're too sensitive, which is another form of bullying. My ex-husband told me, marriage should not be work. Marriage should be easy. I'm not sure what universe he thinks he's living in, but relationships take work, okay? We all have our stuff, right? We all have things that we need to unlearn. We all have, we all have triggers. We all have traumas. Most of us, anyway. Some of us have some pretty hefty betrayal trauma, too, which, that's hard. That's really difficult. And a lot of it comes from these relationships where you're supposed to be able to trust the person closest to you. It can come from parents, it can come from siblings, it can come from teachers, it can come from anybody who you should have been able to trust. Friends, definitely, if I hadn't mentioned that. But who did you dirty. And, either didn't support you when you really needed it or actively turned against you. When you're with an abuser, you get the betrayal trauma and you get blamed for it. You're told that what is happening is your fault. Well, I wouldn't hit you if you would just listen to me. I wouldn't yell at you if you would just do this. I wouldn't have to hold you down if you would just submit to me. Excuse you, no. If you were a good wife, you would. If you were a good husband, you would. If you don't do this, you don't love me. If you do that, then you don't love me. It's no matter what you do, they move the goalposts. Nothing's ever good enough. They do that to keep you off balance, to keep you striving for their approval. And another thing they could be doing with that is keeping you striving just for some peace, because you think that if you appease them, then maybe they'll just like leave you alone or not be vicious towards you or stop attacking you, you know, if you just give them what they want. But what they want is never good enough. Like, you are, and it becomes that you are not good enough. And they start talking about how they could have better. And, you know, how you'll never have anybody as good as them if anybody ever wants you. Like what happened to me. Really personal disclosure. My ex gave me a communicable disease that I can't get rid of. And he said, I'm so sorry. He didn't tell me he had it. He said, I'm so sorry that now nobody else is ever going to want to be in a relationship with you because of this. It's like nobody else is going to want you. I'm so sorry that I've made you damaged goods. Okay. That's not how that works. Just FYI. No, it's nothing life-threatening. But it's still a really crappy thing to do to somebody. You know. Lots of Jeeps out today. You know, to not tell somebody that you've got a disease. Give it to them. And then say, oh, I'm so sorry. I feel so bad because now nobody else is going to want you. Tell me that's not manipulation. To make you think that you do not have any other options other than them. These people suck. You know? The stuff that they do sucks. Oh, and by the way, if somebody tells you they can't have kids, don't trust that. Don't trust it. You know, I was told, oh, I'm sterile, you don't need to be on birth control. Guess who got pregnant? Then I really couldn't leave because I had no support system. I had no resources. I had nothing. Meanwhile, he had his entire family backing him up. I didn't. I didn't have anything because I didn't have family. How do they make it hard for you to leave? Kids are one of the biggest traps that a narcissist can have, that an abuser can have, because they will use that child against you in order to control you and try to keep you from leaving. They will do whatever it takes. You know, my ex told me during the separation, during which, mind you, remember, he told me that he was not going to allow me to bring our daughter, with me. Just on the simple principle that he could exercise that power. He had the right to exercise that power. Meanwhile, I'd been her primary caregiver. We didn't have tantrums. We didn't have, we didn't have issues. She had a little bit of a speech delay, but they were considering taking her off of the program at the last meeting that I had with them because she was caught up. And I had been the one in the meetings and doing the work and working with her. And, so when after I've left for the separation, he tells me, it's your fault that she has a speech delay. You're a neglectful mother. You're not the healthiest. You're not healthy. You're not a healthy person. And then he goes on to tell me that she's hiding in closets from him. And that's because of me being gone. And he's also saying, she's throwing these tantrums. And, I've noticed that she becomes more affectionate after discipline. And for a 2.5-year-old, his discipline is, when she throws a tantrum, she gets put in timeout. And she'll scream for up to 2.5 hours. And when she's screaming, if she's screaming, she doesn't get food, water, or toys. And she has to stay quiet for 5 minutes before she gets to come out of timeout. And she's more affectionate now. Okay, CPS doesn't have a problem with this. The military doesn't have a problem with this. It's been reported, but nobody sees a problem with this. At 5 years old, this very young child, is given total control over whether or not she complies with court orders. And her father tells me that I need to respect her feelings and wishes and boundaries and not comply with the court order because that's what she wants. Military doesn't see anything wrong with this. CPS doesn't see anything wrong with this. The fact that she is screaming at me, telling me I don't love her, I don't care about her, and that I make bad choices. Nobody sees anything wrong with this. The therapist tells me that who's working with her, who her father chose over my objection because she did not have the training that I was looking for what was going on. The therapist tells me, no, you need to respect her boundaries and you need to not have contact with her until she's ready to have contact with you, until she feels safe having contact with you. Meanwhile, her father is telling her that I'm going to come with a firearm and take her away. How long do you think it's going to be until she feels safe with me? How long do I need to wait? How long do I need to not have contact with her? When this is what is being said in the home. Why am I the one who's being penalized for that? Why is she, why is it that, that relationship is pushed further out, that, I can't have any contact with her to show that I am safe, while she's being told that I'm unsafe? Why is that? Because abusers. That's why. So, it's all punishment. That's one of the ways that abusers make it hard to leave, is because they threaten to do this to you and then they do it. They threaten to do this to your child and then they do it. He told me, if you leave me, you're never going to see her again. He wrote a suicide note. Yeah. He wrote a suicide note stating that I am an unhealthy parent, and that his parents were to get full custody of our daughter, and that I would be granted visitation on a case-by-case basis. And if I ever got remarried, I was never to see her again. No visitation ever. I still have that, actually, in his handwriting. Dum Dum sent it to me when he returned my stuff. They think they're smart, but they get so wrapped up in their own lies, they forget. So, that's fun. Yeah. And I also got in touch with this person's ex-wife, and I heard about all the things that he did to her. The things that made it really hard for her to leave. And it was even worse. The things that he did to her were even worse. Like, by far. And it's really horrifying that these people just get away with this stuff because she reported it. Nobody did anything about it. The military didn't do anything about it. Police didn't do anything about it. Do you know why? They're such good liars. They are so good. They are so good at completely flipping the script and making themselves the victim and playing innocent and harmless. You know, oh, I don't know. I think I'm just trying to help her. I don't know. You know, she hates me. That's what, you know, that's what it is. She's crazy. I'm scared of her. Really? Seriously? You know, if you guys have watched enough of my videos, you get it. I'm not like a scary person, okay? Not at all. Got my boundaries, so heck yes, I've got my boundaries. I love me some boundaries, but I'm not a scary person. You know? Can I stand up and say, no, we're not doing that? No, that's not true. Yeah, absolutely. I can and I will. Because abuse is just unacceptable. Unacceptable. So anyway, I gotta go in and take a look at this IEP draft that I received at dark 30 this morning, so that maybe, you know, I can actually have some input and know what's going on, and I have a voice in my daughter's education and well-being and welfare. Anyway, yeah, so that's just some of the stuff that happens when you're dealing with an abuser. Like, not only when you're with them, but after you get away, where they're trying to force you to come back. You know, when my ex told me that about how he was leaving her in timeout for 2.5 hours to let her scream, and that she didn't get food or water during that time, did I want to go back and save her and rescue her from that? Absolutely. It was the hardest thing not to. The only reason that I didn't is because I knew I wouldn't be able to get away again. He would not allow me to leave. And I knew that. I knew it. You know, and when that failed, things got much uglier. They got much, much, much uglier. And I'm confident that if I hadn't left and stayed away, I would not be alive today. And I certainly wouldn't be this person who I can look at in the mirror and recognize and be happy about. So much of abuse is stripping you of your identity. It's where you don't know what's true, what's real, and the only feedback that you have about yourself is what the abuser tells you. So, don't believe them. Don't do it. They will do anything in their power to try to force you or convince you to come back. They may apologize. They may say, oh, I was so terrible to you. I'm so sorry. It'll never happen again. And that'll last maybe 2-3 weeks. Maybe. That's part of the cycle. And then it becomes, oh, you're such a drama queen. Oh my God. You're making a mountain out of a molehill, and nobody else thinks this is an issue, and nobody else thinks the way you do. And you're the only person I've ever had this problem with. That's another big one. So, yeah, you know what? It's been a long freaking day. It's going to be a longer freaking day. So, hang in there, guys. Tomorrow's another day, and just keep moving forward. One step at a time, one breath at a time. Keep moving forward. Take care of yourself. Show up authentically as yourself. All right, have a great day.